Hey guys, your tickets.
Fuck you!
Guys, you did not pay your ticket. It's 150 per person.
Fucking boss!
You're gonna look back at this and realize that it is the luckiest I've ever been. Believe me.
At the beginning of the movie, we flash back to see how things took a dark turn. The film opens in a seemingly ordinary neighborhood supermarket. A young mother is finishing up her groceries, chatting cheerfully with her little son. They walk out of the store and step onto the sidewalk, simply enjoying the evening. In the next instant, horror strikes. A stranger with an axe appears almost out of nowhere, lunges at the mother's back, and brutally slashes her throat. Chaos erupts in a heartbeat. The mother collapses in a pool of blood. The child screams and scrambles to her side. Bystanders shout and run for cover, but it's too late. The attacker vanishes into the crowd as sirens begin blaring. The image of that innocent woman and her terrified boy is seared into our minds. This shocking murder sets the tone for the entire movie. Immediately, we learn the attacker was a recent migrant. News crews swarm the scene on TV. A reporter solemnly declares that parents are now afraid to send their kids out to play, and women won't even walk to the corner store after dark. The city is gripped by fear. Crime seems to be running rampant, and citizens feel unprotected by the police or courts. These details hint at the movie's grim theme, an ordinary world where justice is failing. We sense that Michael Sanders is watching this news too, and he might be about to take matters into his own hands. Soon after, we meet Michael Sanders in a very different setting. He's an American ex-Army officer, sitting in a sleek office with his manager, Owen. The mood is calm and professional, until Owen mentions a government plan. Because thousands of Michael's rental apartments stand empty, officials want to hand them over to migrant families. Michael has just inherited this vast real estate empire from his estranged father, and it consists of around 3,500 units across Europe. The mention of migrant housing makes Michael snap. He slams his hand on the table and demands that Owen prepare eviction notices for any tenant not paying rent immediately. Michael is furious that his family's properties, built on hard work, are being surrendered by bureaucrats. "We cannot let them give away what's ours," he yells. Owen is startled. He reminds Michael that courts might not approve such mass evictions, and that the company could be sued. Michael simply shrugs. "If the law won't protect our own, I will," he says quietly, his voice low and determined. In this scene, we see Michael's face twist with anger. He feels betrayed by a system that seems to favor outsiders over his own citizens. This confrontation shows us Michael's core motivation, a deep patriotism and a belief that ordinary people must defend themselves when authorities won't. Owen ends the meeting looking worried and unsettled. We can tell Michael is serious about taking a stand, even if it means breaking the rules himself. But Michael harbors a secret life that he hasn't yet revealed. When night falls, the man from the bus transforms into the vigilante citizen. We see a dramatic sequence in darkness. A short montage follows. We see him move through deserted alleyways, always watching, always waiting. His mission is clear: punish the criminals who have escaped justice. The film does not shy away from showing how Michael feels justified. As he walks away from each scene, he believes that because the official justice system has failed the victims, someone had to step in. Michael's actions are brutal, but they find support from at least one victim. The next key scene takes us to a hospital emergency ward. There lies Elsa, a young woman who was raped and savagely beaten by thugs. We learn it was a group of migrants. Her head is bandaged, her eyes swollen shut. He gently sits by Elsa and asks in a calm voice, "How are you feeling?" Her sister sobs. They barely let her live. Elsa barely opens her eyes to look at him. Without beating around the bush, Michael asks Elsa what she wants for justice. Through her swollen eyes and tearful voice, Elsa says she hopes the courts will convict the men. But Michael's face falls. He bluntly replies, "You know they won't. They'll get off with light sentences or appeal." Elsa looks confused and angry. Michael leans forward. In a low but fierce tone, he offers her a choice. She can continue to rely on the broken legal system, or she can agree to let him intervene directly. The camera focuses on Elsa's horrified expression. The idea is shocking, but Michael doesn't relent. Finally, Elsa, exhausted and desperate, grabs his hand. She says softly, "Please do what you have to do." In that instant, Elsa has given Michael her blessing. Her choice is clear. She's placing her trust in this mysterious vigilante because she feels she has no alternative. Michael smiles with grim satisfaction. He carefully explains, "I will do what I must, but no harm will come to you or your family." Elsa nods, tears still streaming. She has made her decision. In her eyes, Michael's promise is a lifeline. Later, as Michael slips out of the room, Interpol's Chief Inspector Henry arrives with a detective. Henry has been searching for the vigilante. He shows Elsa photos from a police lineup, including one of Michael. Henry asks desperately, "Is this the man who visited you?" Elsa, coughing softly, deliberately shakes her head and says he looks nothing like her visitor. The single tear on her cheek says it all. Elsa is covering for Michael. She has chosen justice over the weak system, so she helps the police in the wrong direction. This sacrifice by Elsa firmly ties her to Michael's cause and also shows how frighteningly desperate victims have become. While Michael plans, Interpol is closing in. Late one night, Henry sits in a dimly lit lab analyzing DNA. The DNA comes back as Michael Sanders. Henry's jaw tightens as he realizes it. The mild-mannered American landlord is the ruthless vigilante. Henry doesn't wait. He contacts a SWAT team. Flashing lights sweep Michael's luxury high-rise. But Michael is already prepared. Inside his apartment, he hears the shouting downstairs. He shuts the windows and fuses the key off the lock. In a secret corner behind a closet, he activates a concealed, armored safe room. Heavy steel doors slide across the wall, blocking view. Seconds later, the team storms in. They sweep the apartment with rifles, finding no one. They radio in, "He's got to be here." They pound on walls. Suddenly, bullets tear into the steel where Michael's hideout is hidden. Inside the safe room, glass and walls shatter. As the SWAT team blindly fires, Michael bolts into the elevator from the flank. Henry has been hit, blood spreading through the SWAT vest he wears. Michael Sanders has slipped away again, seemingly out of nowhere. The police find only spent shells and shattered walls. The city news erupts with headlines about a policeman shot in the leg and questions whether a cruel vigilante is picking off officers. We, along with everyone else, hold our breath. Will Michael get away? Will Henry live? A few days later, a national scandal sparks. The film shows a televised trial. 6 young men are accused of brutally gang-raping a teenage girl. Judge Reinhold interrupts the final testimony. On a live mic, he declares in a chilling tone, "This trial is over. These young men are as much victims of society as your daughter. They will be set free with no further punishment." Later that evening, Michael watches this on TV from his apartment, face contorted with fury. He clenches his fists as the judge excuses the attackers. He's covering for his kind, not for justice. Michael whispers. It's the final straw. Judge Reinhold, pocketing his wallet, walks alone to his sleek car. He's unaware someone is following. Michael steps out of the shadows, now driving Reinhold's official car. Michael greets him by name, acting like a normal person. "Hi, Judge Reinhold," he says quietly. Michael injects a syringe filled with a lethal dose of heroin into Reinhold's neck. The judge's eyes widen in horror. "What are you?" he gasps. As they drive, Michael starts talking oddly. Michael stares solemnly and says, "One verdict you'll never see overturned." Within seconds, the judge clutches his chest and slumps to the side, face filled with panic. Michael calmly steps out of the car and closes the door. He leaves the engine running, making it look like the judge simply nodded off at the wheel. When a neighbor finds Reinhold's body, first responders are called. They pronounce it an overdose. The public is stunned by the sudden death of such a prominent official. But the movie leaves little doubt in the audience's mind about who did this. News anchors begin to piece things together. They note that Judge Reinhold's death fits a growing pattern. He's one more jurist found dead unexpectedly. Other reporters whisper on social media, "Is someone enacting vigilante justice on judges who let criminals go free?" Viewers now realize a bold symbol. Michael has targeted the corrupt judge. Still focused on his mission, Michael's final targets are the true culprits who ruined the teenage girl's life. With all 6 identified, he tracks them. One is Yusuf, the ringleader, who lives with his entire extended family in a rundown apartment. Michael bursts in, gun drawn. He orders the entire family to the floor. Then Michael says grimly, "Call your friends. Bring them here." In panic, Yusuf calls the other 5 attackers to this location. By the time they arrive, thinking they're rescuing Yusuf, Michael has arranged everyone in the living room. The attackers shuffle in, hands raised. For a tense moment, silence reigns. The camera lingers on Michael's face. No hesitation, just resolve. Then Michael opens fire on the 6 young men. In gruesome, rapid succession they collapse. The movie does not shy from showing this brutality, each shot delivered coldly. At home, the teenage girl's face lights up as she sees the headline that all her attackers are dead. For the first time, she feels justice, though it came at a horrifying cost. That evening, Michael makes one last statement. He uses a burner phone to call Inspector Henry in the hospital. Henry, barely conscious, listens as Michael's voice comes over the speaker with cold calmness. "Tell your government. If they don't stop this crime wave, we will. Citizens will protect themselves." He doesn't wait for a response. The film ends on a question mark. Michael walks off into the darkened city. The officials are left scrambling and shaken. Ordinary citizens are left wondering, is this real justice or the mark of a monster? Citizen Vigilante delivers a dark, intense story of one man's crusade. Michael Sanders evolves from a frustrated landlord into an unstoppable vigilante who delivers ruthless retribution. We see shocking scenes, a child's horror, brutal revenge killings, a dauntless anti-hero, all raising big questions about right and wrong. In the end, Michael's actions force us to ask, is he a hero for the victims or a dangerous extremist? Now it's your turn to decide. What do you think of Michael's brand of justice? Did he go too far, or was it all justified? Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do us a small favor. Hit that subscribe button. If you don't, we might cry in the editing room, just saying. Thanks for watching Citizen Vigilante Explained. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.